Welcome to Real Reviews, where we take a look at major Hollywood releases and let you know if they're worth your time, money, and patience. I'm your host, Walter Benasiak, and today we sing Nirvana in the new Peter Pan movie. Pan. Living a bleak existence at a London orphanage, 12-year-old Peter, Levi Miller, finds himself whisked away to the fantastical world of Neverland. Adventure awaits as he meets new friends James Hook, Garrett Hedlund, and the warrior Tiger Lily, Rooney Mara. They must band together to save Neverland from the ruthless pirate Blackbeard, Hugh Jackman. Along the way, the rebellious and mischievous boy discovers his true destiny, becomes the hero forever known as Peter Pan. I'm not gonna lie, this is a really hard film to describe. It's not good. Not terrible, but it's definitely not good. It is just so dang weird. Peter Pan was like my first thing I liked. My mother loves telling the story of how when I was very young, I wore out the VHS tape of the Disney animated version of Peter Pan because I watched it so much. Not just that, but I even frequently watched the Mary Martin live NBC special from the 50s, and a little later loved renting Hook from my local video store. Hook has gotten even better with age, and it's still rising in rank on my favorite movie list every time I watch it. So Peter Pan holds a special place at the core of who I am and how I look at the world. This quote is pretty powerful.
To live will be an awfully big adventure.
This 2015 Pan movie is just not very good for a lot of reasons. The film tries so hard to be an epic, huge fantasy story. It doesn't work. It goes so far over the top in some cases that it's extremely perplexing. Pan is pretty much a failure with no charm, but you can tell some effort was put into it and they tried to have this stand on its own as something different. A Peter Pan movie we've never seen before. However, the result is a film with no real identity. The beginning of the film with Peter at the orphanage was unpleasant and boring. You could tell something was off right away and things went further off the rails from there. The world of Neverland that was created feels so fake. Very few real sets seem to be used for it, and it never felt like a fantastical land, much less a visually interesting one. It threw a lot at the screen and was very loud at points, but that doesn't translate to visually interesting in this case. The effects in this film should be discussed, because the whole film looks like one big effect. Some stuff doesn't look bad, but a lot of it wasn't very good. What stood out as awful was the CGI of Peter flying. We're talking dreadful here. Think a PS2 cutscene and you basically have what was presented here. The CG was straight out of the early 2000s, and that is inexcusable. The story uses the old prophecy trope that I am sick to death of, and it hurts the story by making it cliche and confusing. We're reminded like every 2 seconds about how Hook is supposed to turn bad and how his relationship to Peter will turn out, which is really annoying. Before we go any further, we have to talk about the strange music choices from this movie. The most obvious ones you'll hear about are the performances of Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit and the Ramones' Blitzkrieg Bop. It is so out of place. This movie takes place in the 1940s. Suddenly they go to Neverland, the whole pirate crew and the miners are singing these bizarre chanting versions of the songs. I'm still confused by that. The score is all right at points and achieves the fanciful mood it attempts to portray a few times throughout. Actually, there are moments where it gets very close to some of the musical cues in the Hook film, and that's not where the strange homages, or whatever you'd like to call them, to that film end. I swear to you, a version of Rufio is in this movie. The tribe that Tiger Lily is the princess of calls their greatest warrior the Pan. This guy looks like Rufio, sort of almost has a similar role, but the biggest evidence is on his head. Rufio was known for having his hair in a strange triple red mohawk thing. The possible Rufio in this movie is bald, but has the same red streaks painted on his head. Coincidence? I don't think so. The cast also tries. The kid playing Peter isn't too bad, but he's not all that great. I don't blame him too much. The role of Peter Pan is a role that is very difficult to live up to. Garrett Hedlund plays a younger pre-Captain Hook, and he is by far the biggest character changed from the original source material. He's basically the Han Solo of this story. I think he could have been really interesting, but only achieved a small amount of the potential that Angle could have given us. Hedlund's performance works in some scenes and doesn't in others. He was really trying to create a character, and I think with a few tweaks, it could have been great. Hugh Jackman's Blackbeard the Pirate was Jackman at his hammiest. It doesn't really work, but you can tell he was also trying to create a great villain and just fell short. The story and world surrounding him may possibly be a bigger reason why Blackbeard wasn't very good. I did like the Smee guy, though. The character relationships don't feel earned either. Whether it's Peter and Hook, Hook and Tiger Lily, etc., we never had more than one moment to learn about them as individuals, much less how they relate to each other. Pan isn't all bad. In fact, there are some stuff in there that could have been cool. There were a few good ideas, but bad execution proved to be the problem. The biggest instance that does play well on the screen is some of the climax. I felt a little bit of the magic in those few minutes. I wanted to like Pan, but it didn't give me too many reasons to. With Hook almost being sort of its own thing, I think the definitive Peter Pan movie may have yet to be made. In any case, I'm giving Pan a disappointing low 5 out of 10. Be on the lookout for more real reviews and new editions of our competitive argument show, Real Debates, coming soon. Be sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, comment on, and share this video. Remember, if it's not reviewed here, it just isn't real. I'm Walter Bernasiak, and I will see you at the movies.